Why do we use square units when we are calculating areas? Area is the amount of space an object covers, like carpet or rugs or tile on a floor. With these parallelograms, and yes, a rectangle is technically a parallelogram because it has opposite sides that are parallel to each other. It's just a little bit special because in a rectangle, every angle is 90 degrees. This is a 90-degree angle, and so is this, and so is this, and so is that one. They're all right angles. This also means that the base and the height are perpendicular to one another. The word perpendicular means connecting at a 90-degree angle. Because the base and the height are perpendicular to one another, part of how I can see the square units is I can see a bunch of little squares filling the shape. When you were a little kid, you might have found the area by literally counting how many square units would fill your figure. And in this case, 20 square units would fill the rectangle. One way of writing my area is like that, 20 square units. Or, instead of counting squares, I can use the area formula, which is area equals base times height. In elementary, you learn length and width. Base and height are synonyms. And I would substitute in, my base is 4 line segments. I don't know if this is feet or inches or yards or centimeters, so I'm just going to use the general word units. And my height is 5 units long, 5 line segments. Notice I'm not counting how many square units, I'm getting length. And length is not measured in squares, it's just the distance. And so my distance is 4 line segments and 5 line segments. When I'm multiplying, I'll multiply my numbers together. 4 times 5 equals 20. And I'll also multiply my units of measure together. Units times units can also be written as units squared with an exponent. When we learned about exponents, we learned that they are a shortcut for repeated multiplication. For instance, 2 times 2 could be written as 2 squared. 3 times 3 could be written as 3 squared. 9 times 9 can be written as 9 squared. I'm using a 2 because there are 2 of the same factor. So even if I'm not using numbers, if this were centimeters times centimeters, centimeters squared would be an equivalent way of writing that. Another way that you might see your solution written could be 20 square abbreviated units, or 20 units squared. All of these are equal to 20 because if I substitute the base of 4 times the height of 5, I will always get 20 units squared. The blue space in all of these parallelograms is exactly the same. Check out the video about rearranging the parallelograms to continually go back to the same original rectangle.